Thanks for listening to The Junction, where we're trying to make connections between Ardmorites. I'm Ardmore Leader News Director Michael Dean Smith. Joining us on the phone this week in The Junction are two people from the IOKP, Investigating Oklahoma's Paranormal. They're going to be in town coming up on Saturday, September 27th for a free presentation at the Ardmore Public Library. Joining us on the phone this week is Todd Bolgren and his wife, Karen Bolgren. So Todd, Karen, thanks for joining us in The Junction this week.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
So, Investigating Oklahoma's Paranormal, IOKP. I've got to ask, just how did this whole endeavor start up, and kind of what started you guys into investigating paranormal activities in Oklahoma?
Our team was actually formed in 2009 by our founder, Dee. She's been in the paranormal for a long, long time. Todd and I have had an interest in the paranormal ever since we were young, and we're fortunate enough to find the team and to become team members.
So what kind of triggered your interest into this in the first place?
I know me personally, I just always enjoyed spooky things and kind of supernatural things. I used to watch scary movies and enjoyed ghost hunting and Bigfoot and UFOs. So I knew as I got older that this was something that I wanted to explore more. In college, I was in some paranormal groups and some teams, and so did some research when I was in my 20s. So it just kind of became a natural progression for me.
And for me, I kind of lean more towards the skeptical side of things. And so I've always had an interest in it from a skeptical standpoint, but I found myself, the more I was involved with the team, the more things I experienced, the more actually addicted I became to attending different events and experiencing different things with the paranormal.
Okay. Now, I was looking at some information about, it looks like you guys have been to Ardmore in the past. You've even done some investigations, I believe, at the Greater Southwest Historical Museum, Mad Jack's, a couple other places. I was just kind of going to ask what your impressions were of Ardmore, and what were some of your findings that you found in past visits to Ardmore?
We were very excited to have the opportunity to come into Ardmore. Started with a private business that had called IOKP in, and we were able to help the employees there where had some concerns. They didn't want to work there after dark. And so once we came in, did our thing that we tend to do with the investigation, we were able to put them at ease that, yes, it did appear that their place was haunted, but that what was there was not anything that was going to hurt anybody. And so they were very pleased with our professionalism and our outcome of what we found there. From that, that's where it opened up the doors to the other locations, to where we ended up at the Greater Southwest Historical Museum. Kind of looked at some of the claims that they had there and some of their concerns, and mostly what we experienced was some personal experiences, a little bit of our equipment hits and stuff like that. But then again, with doing the library presentation last year, one of our biggest events there in Ardmore, with a turnout of over 160 people, just really wowed us as to the interest that was there. Mad Jack's contacted us to come out and look at some of their claims of things that they had going on there.
And we do want to give credit to the Ardmore Library, especially Allison, who works there. She was really instrumental in getting us into some of these locations and getting us contacts. Mm-hmm. So we just want to send a thank you to her.
Okay.
No, go ahead. If I can, speaking of Mad Jack's, we will also be doing a ghost tour event there on the same day that we're there for the library. That event will take place at 7 p.m. that night, to which we still have tickets available for that event.
And those are $40 per person. We We do have a limited number of those available, and those can be purchased on our Facebook page or on our website at iokp.org.
iokp.org or your Facebook page. Can you search for the Investigating Oklahoma's Paranormal on Facebook to find y'all?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, and those were $40 per person. That's the same day you'll be in Ardmore, September 27th. That'll just be later in the evening at Mad Jack's for that
Correct.
investigation.
Right.
Okay. So,
It's kind of like our Halloween kickoff. Ardmore's kind of doing our Halloween kickoff day, so we're super excited about that.
well, awesome.
And Mad Jack's was wanting us to come in prior to starting their haunted house attraction events. So that's where this kind of helps kick things off for them too, as far as advertising for them and their Halloween events that they have coming up.
Okay.
But we have been there, and we have investigated that place as well. They have some interesting things going on there with claims of unexplained voices, shadows. I know when we were there, we experienced some unexplained footsteps, some unexplained shadows, and then there's just a few places that just have a different feel to them. That's the way we can describe it. Is it feels like you're underwater, a very heavy, oppressive feeling. So we're looking forward to going back there and checking that out. Getting a little bit more involved and see if we can't put some answers to some of these things that we've experienced there and that others have experienced there.
Now, I don't want to necessarily have you give your presentation here on the Junction, but I am curious, and I want to ask about some of the equipment that you guys used for these investigations. Is this stuff that's specifically made for paranormal investigations? Is it stuff you're making? Kind of like how do you come across and use some of this equipment that you use during these investigations?
Sure. Most of the stuff that we use is stuff that you can find online at shops that specialize in ghost hunting equipment. But some of the equipment is equipment that I've made since I am the lead tech, equipment tech for the team. I'm responsible for all the equipment that we have. And so most of our equipment revolves around EMF detectors, which is electromagnetic field. There's static electricity detectors. We have motion sensor devices. We have full spectrum and thermal imaging cameras. And of course, digital audio recorders. And that's just to name a few. We have a pretty good selection of equipment that we can pull from, depending on the location and the activity there. And again, a lot of that is all going to be covered in our lecture at the library, to which I also teach a class in El Reno that goes over that equipment in much more detail.
Okay. We're on the phone right now with Todd and Karen Bulgren. They're a husband and wife team behind Investigating Oklahoma's Paranormal, IOKP. They're going to be here in Ardmore at the Ardmore Public Library coming up on Saturday, September 27th from noon until 2 p.m. And then later that evening at 7 p.m., they're going to be doing an investigation over at Mad Jack's right here in downtown Ardmore. Tickets for that are still available, $40 per person, over on their website, iokp.org, or on their Facebook page. I want to ask, too, Todd, you had mentioned that you're kind of the skeptic in your group. How do you explain what you do to skeptics, to somebody that may just kind of shrug off what you're doing as just ghost stories? How do you convince them that what you're doing is serious endeavor?
That's a very good question, and it's a little bit difficult for me to answer because the best way I can answer that is to actually attend one of our events, because personal experience is really the only true way of convincing a skeptic. I do cover a lot of different things as far as debunking videos. I mean, we get a lot of videos and stuff sent to the team. To which we review and try to look at explanations as to what can cause the different things that may show up on a video. But again, to truly answer your question, personal experience is really about the only way that I can convince a true skeptic. I can have photographs, I can have audio, I can have video, but everybody's going to say, well, you could have made that up. You could have fabricated that. I assure you the stuff that we present has not been fabricated. It's exactly how we recorded it. We do try to put an explanation where we can, but where we can't explain it, we leave it as simply the unexplained. And we will say we do not have proof that ghosts exist. We merely claim that we have evidence.
Okay. So I want to ask you a little bit more about the presentation that's coming up on the 27th. Just kind of walk us through what somebody might expect if they were going to head up to the library on September 27th for the IOKP presentation.
Well, I'm hoping we have the turnout we had last year. It was amazing. It was like standing room only. Wow. So I hope that when people walk in, it's going to be packed wall to wall. And Todd will be covering the basics of paranormal investigating, the basics of what is the paranormal, explaining different types of phenomena. He will be going over the equipment in a little more depth, and then we'll also have the equipment there with us, and we'll be displaying the equipment so people can see our equipment up close. Then he also will go into showing different slides on evidence that we've collected. We have some video, we have some audio evidence, and then there will also be some time for questions and answers for us and all of our other team members as well.
Okay. And so this will be running through that whole 2-hour program. This will be something that you'll want to get there for the beginning, it sounds like, right?
Pretty much. I mean,
yes.
To get the full rundown of everything, it kind of has a certain order to it to flow and make sense. And of course, a little bit of the history of IOKP and again, how we got started and our different team members that belong to the group. But yeah, I'm hoping to get through the event really in about an hour and a half. I mean, I don't want to bore people, thinking that they're going to be there for 2 hours to watch this. Hoping to get through in about an hour and a half. There is a lot of content to go through, especially when it comes to the evidence and the video and stuff. A lot of times people, hey, can you play that again? Sure, certainly, we'll play that again for you.
Okay.
And then hopefully that'll give a good, half hour. I'm hoping at least to allow 15 minutes for questions and answers, but it just depends on the number of people that show up, and people need to come out with their questions for us. We'd be glad to answer them.
With some of the topics and the subject matter that you guys deal with, is there like a certain age range that you would recommend maybe kids not come, or is there a kind of age limit that you would recommend for this?
Yeah, we definitely recommend this to be age 14 on up. More so just because of some of the evidence that we have can be disturbing for younger viewers. It's not that there's anything graphic or anything like that. It's just some of the audio can be disturbing. Perhaps some of the video evidence, younger kids may not understand and may be considered inappropriate for them as far as we just don't want kids to go home and have nightmares.
Sure. And then finally, I just want to ask, you guys have been doing this since 2009. What's been one of the most exciting investigations that you guys have done? Well,
we do travel with our team. So even though we are of Oklahoma, we do travel to other states, Oklahoma being our primary location, but we've been to Texas, Arkansas. Actually, 2 years ago, we went out to Kentucky to the Waverly Hills Sanitarium. Let's see. Next year, we're looking to go to Missouri, to Missouri State Penitentiary. Those are considered our VIP trips, to which we have a selected number of people that we tend to pick people that have come to our events on a regular basis, that they get first choice and are invited to go to these events. But to answer your question, probably our best location is a abandoned hospital in Arkansas. We're not allowed to give the location out publicly, but to say that place is haunted is an understatement as far as our best evidence comes from that place, be it audio, visual, shadow figures, footsteps, you name it, that place has it all. And the unfortunate thing is there's a lot of people that have gone into that place, and one of the last groups that went in there vandalized the place, stole some stuff, supposedly left some trash outside. And so they have since closed that down to public investigations. We're hopeful that in the future they may make some changes and we'll be able to get back in there again. But definitely, out of all the places we've been, that place is definitely the most interesting and most consistent, I must say. I mean, a lot of places we go to, there's a lot of claims there, but we can show up and you may not get anything. You know, you got to be in the right place at the right time to catch this stuff. I think a lot of people think that when they sign up to go on our tours, they expect that, you know, stuff's going to be popping out of every corner, you know, something's going to be following them. And that's simply not the case. You just got to be in the right place at the right time in the right environment.
Sure. All right. Well, IOKP, Investigating Oklahoma's Paranormal, they're going to be at the Ardmore Public Library coming up on Saturday, September 27th from noon until 2 p.m. It is a free event and open to the public, but as you just heard, younger kids might want to stay at home for this one. Later that evening, on just September 27th, they'll be at Mad Jack's, the haunted house over on Washington Street at 7 p.m., $40 a ticket. You can find those tickets online, iokp.org, or on IOKP's Facebook page. Todd Bolgren, Karen Bolgren, excuse me. Thank you so much for joining us in the Junction this week. It's been a long day, but thank you so much for joining us in the Junction this week.
I hear you.
And look forward to seeing you guys in town on the 27th.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you contacting us.